Hello everyone, I'm making this short video at the time of a global pandemic, and all of us are suffering the effects of a very tiny virus. Every pandemic is meant to teach us lessons. There are several lessons that we need to learn from this pandemic, but the most important one perhaps is the fact that we all should somehow take charge of our own food. We need to try and see if we can grow our own food in any little way that we can. Very often, people complain that they don't have space and perhaps they don't have time. I think space is something that we can find if we have a desire and a will to grow our own food. You can look around you and see whether there's space, probably in a balcony, probably on a windowsill, or maybe on the terrace if you're living in a building, or perhaps around your house if you are living in a bungalow or housing society. Housing societies very often also have common areas which are used by societies to grow ornamental plants or sometimes some random trees. I think if we have the will, we do find the space. You can grow your own food in whatever little space that you can find. If you just have a balcony, perhaps you can think of looking at growing some simple things like chilies, perhaps tomatoes, some brinjals. You can also grow curry leaves, curry patta, which is not only an important plant for our cooking, but also something that is highly medicinal. You can also grow medicinal plants like tulsi. Many people do grow tulsi for religious reasons, but you also must realize that tulsi is a highly medicinal plant, having perhaps more than 100 different properties to cure us and keep us healthy. If you're living in a society with some common spaces, this is a fervent appeal to you all. Try and look around at what you have planted. In this country, we are forever short of resources of land, resources of water, and sometimes manpower. We invest a lot of money in hiring gardeners, in arranging for water supply, in arranging for soil, arranging for compost or manure, and we end up growing ornamental plants. Very often these ornamental plants also happen to be non-native, which means that they don't even fit into the native local ecosystem, which also means then that they don't support birds, insects, bees or butterflies. So we need to think carefully of what we are planting. And I think it is up to us now to become aware of the way we are using the resources that are at our disposal. In every society in the common areas, we can grow simple plants that will be useful not only to one family but to other families as well, and perhaps also support our gardeners, our security guards, and anybody else who may be coming to work for us, like our maids. I've seen societies spending a lot of money to grow completely irrelevant plants. By irrelevant, I mean plants that do not contribute in any way to the ecosystem. Let us plan carefully. Let us think carefully. I want us to think about even growing fruit trees, fruits that we may be able to eat and fruits that we may be able to share with other people. Similarly, we can think of growing drumstick trees. Drumsticks are very nutritious. Drumstick leaves are very nutritious. And perhaps, if not for us, a lot of people around us who have no access to nutritious food can also benefit from the trees that we have planted. Watch my channel for other videos where I will be putting up growing instructions on how you can grow important edible trees. Something very beautiful about nature is that nature gives in abundance. So whatever you plant, you will see that there is a lot more than you can consume. As a family, we have grown our own food for more than 20 years in whatever spaces that were possible. Every windowsill can grow food. Every little space can grow a plant that is suitable there and can produce our own food. And our own experience has been that if you plant a chili plant, that chili plant will give you so many chilies that you can actually share with your neighbors. So this sharing is very, very important. Whatever that we grow, we can share, which also means that different families can grow different vegetables. And so whatever is in abundance, we can share. And this sharing is something that truly builds community. It builds relationships. During this pandemic itself, we've seen that we've been able to actually relate to a lot of people whom we did not speak to before, simply because we could share the excess vegetables that were growing in our garden. So in terms of variety, there's a lot of variety that we can plant depending on whatever is useful. Similarly, if there are larger areas, we need to plant food and medicinal trees. I'm also thinking of our cities. We need to look carefully at our cities. What are we planting? A lot of the trees again are just planted very randomly, sometimes because they are fast growing. Sometimes some of these trees can even be dangerous for our health. They are planted because they are fast growing. They have no other benefit. Sometimes the pollen grains of some of these trees can also cause illnesses. So we need to think about our avenues, our roads. Think about all the common areas that are there in the city, our parks. We can plant food trees. We can plant trees that will give us fruits, vegetables, and medicine. So imagine the air that we breathe in a city if we planted medicinal trees in its avenues. All these are things that we need to learn from this pandemic. Can we use our resources better? Can we use our spaces better? Can we simply make ourselves self-sufficient when it comes to food and medicine? It is said that if you want to be happy for a day, you could drink alcohol or smoke. If you want to be happy for a month, you could get married. But if you want to be happy for a lifetime, you need to take up gardening. And this is something I want to encourage each and every one of you watching this video. Please step out, look around your house, look around your building, look around your society, look around your local area. Is there any way you think resources can be used better? And let us not just think of our own families. Let us think about people around us. There have been issues with migrant laborers, starving, not having enough food. Imagine if our trees were lined with food and fruit trees. Maybe we could sustain the lives of everyone around us. So go ahead and make sure that you plant that tree today, you plant that little plant in your balcony today, and live healthier lives. Thank you.